Hello class, this video is going to concentrate only on the annotated bibliography. So let's go into the requirements. So the annotated bibliography and your R, you can work together or in a group. So that's up to you. But if you work in a group, you stay with them. However, if you have somebody who's not doing any work, kick them out. I don't like to play around. I don't think you should have to either. Time is valuable. So anyway, so you can work on your annotated bibliography, your AB or your R, again in a group, or you can work alone. That's up to you. Obviously, I'm making the video now. You'll see it here once you open your module. The requirements for your argumentative research essay, your R, you need to have 8 sources, and you have to have 8 separate in-text citations. So 8 in-text citations from 8 different sources, so your works cited page will have 8 sources. However, for your AB, your annotated bibliography, you're going to find 10 resources. So of the 10 resources that you find in your AB, 8 of those must be in your essay. Okay, so let's take a look here. 5 of the resources that you use of the 10 must come from a database. And the databases you can locate over here where it says library databases. And I have a video that walks you through all of that. So I use ProQuest or Opposing Viewpoints, which is in the Gale. ProQuest and Opposing Viewpoints, which is in Gale, these are databases where you can locate information. So I would use those. So of the 10, 5 have to come from databases. And I'll know that they're from a database because they will have an address that you have to add, or a DOI it's called. All right, and then the others you can go out to the internet and use. Also, you can use some of the articles that we've read already. Maybe you want to incorporate Staples or Rhodes. You can use those in the AB as well. So formatting I'm going to go over this in a minute, but basically when you're looking at an article, you'll want to cite it, summarize it, and then evaluate, explain it. How are you going to use that article in your essay? You may come across an article that you just don't like, don't include it, move on. All right, and this AB is going to be due on Sunday, November 5th. I'm going to go back and then I'm going to go over the example. I think it'll make more sense to you. So here, what is annotated bibliography? It's a long, you can go through all that if you want to. I'm just going to jump to the sample of the annotated bibliography. Okay, so this is what yours will look like when you submit it to the discussion board. Or not to the discussion board, when you submit it. All right, as soon as it loads. All right, so you're going to have an MLA heading as usual. So here, type all the names of the group, the people in your group. If you're the team leader, that's your job, okay? And then regular heading, and then topic and a working thesis. I want all of this done exactly this way. So MLA heading, I want that written here. Topic and working thesis. The topic, what are some lightning safety tips? This is just an example. And then here's the thesis statement. Now I'm calling this a working thesis because you may change your mind later after you do research. You may change your pro and your con, but these two have to be included. Then here's the crux of the annotated bibliography. Again, MLA heading first, topic and working thesis, annotated bibliography and examples. I don't care if you put this here or you can just put annotated bibliography, but that should be centered. Number 1, so let's just take a look. I looked up an article that I wanted to use, last name, first name. Here, I can tell this is not a magazine because if it were, it'd be in quotes, but this is in italics, so this is going to be a book or a larger container. And then it was published by the University of Chicago. Here is the link to it. All right, and then you can look over here, and then here you're going to cite it, which you did, boom. Make sure you're following MLA because when you do your works cited page for the actual paper, if you follow it here, you can just copy and paste it. So you've cited it, and then you need S and E. S is to summarize. What is the article about? Just a couple quick sentences. And then E, evaluate it. Evaluate the source. And how are you going to use it? How would it fit into your paper? Or, I mean, yeah, I honestly would do that. They evaluate the source, how it worked with your paper. Is it reason enough study to use? Do you trust the authors? So stuff like that. And then number two, David, notice that Cooper, and then D, it's in alphabetical order. Look at here, preventing lightning strikes. This is in quotes. This should automatically tell you that it's from a larger container. So to me, this is an article. Where did this article come from? American School and University. I know this isn't a book, it's a magazine because of volume 71, number 11. The date, etc. And then here, summarize the article, and then E, evaluate it. Next, keep going. That's what you're going to do for all 10. Okay? And remember, 5 of these have to come from the databases, which you will look at in a second. And then 5 can come from articles that we've read or stuff from the internet. And remember, if you're taking stuff from the internet, make sure that it is credible and it's not some whack job just putting stuff. And thinking of that, I know that academic, you should not be using Wikipedia. However, I think Wikipedia gets a bad rap. Do I want you to use Wikipedia? No. But if you do use Wikipedia, say you type in a topic, I would go down to the bottom of Wikipedia and look at the resources. And then I would go to those resources and maybe use those. Wikipedia doesn't, they don't like, academics doesn't like Wikipedia because anybody can post in there. However, Wikipedia has people who fact checked constantly. But do not use Wikipedia in my course. However, if you want to use it as a reference, go to the bottom and look at the resources. Where did this information come from? And maybe you want to branch off from that. So again, for this, you're going to need 10 of these. 5 must come from databases. And you're like, well, you keep talking about a database. So I don't want to go into it because I have a whole video on it. Where is it? So let me get you up. Sorry, guys. So what our databases are here. However, I go right here. This is good if you've never used a database before, but here's a video of me, and I actually take you over here to library databases and walk you step by step of how I would do the research. So use that. Again, this annotated bibliography, you and your group, if you're working in a group, only one person will submit it with all of the names in the MLA heading by Sunday, November 5th. Okay, and then now the next video is going to go over peer revising. Thank you.